And as you're driving up to this area, you pass by them. It's just so pretty as you're driving out there. It's hard to do it justice, but you got nice big green trees. You got these big lakes, which some of them are certainly bigger than others, but even the ones that on this map right now look small are pretty sizable lakes. They're not ponds like some of the lakes we have here in the cities. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Land Stories Live. Today, I have the pleasure of having Kristy back with me. Hey, Kristy.
Hello. It's been a while.
I know. You're getting ready to do the big move?
Yep. Can you see the excitement on my face with the move? Like I said earlier, I should be way more packed than I am, and it'll get done at the midnight hour.
I know, right? Totally. Well, I know people have asked me for a while. It's like, hey, you're buying land in Arizona, you're buying it in Colorado, you're buying in New Mexico, you're buying in Oregon. All that's great, but you're from Minnesota. Why in the world are you contacting me all the way from Minnesota? And so I was like, why don't you have land out there? Well, guess what? That's what we're talking about today, right?
Yay! And then the next question, why don't you have land in Texas? But I know that's coming. I'm teasing.
I know. We're going to be working on that too. One thing at a time. So we're going to talk about that today. And I'm happy to announce we have a few properties now in Minnesota that we are going to be going through. And so today, Kristy and I are going to be helping you discover more in this podcast, this live feed, where and why we bought land within Minnesota, which I know, Kristy, you're going to be asking me questions. It's kind of fun. Normally, when we buy properties, I'll send a photographer out there to take them because I can't travel to New Mexico and Oregon and Arizona and everywhere in the country. But here in Minnesota, I did. I actually personally went to each of these properties, so I can talk all about it.
Photographs are so good.
Oh, thank you. I tried. Actually, the picture behind us here is a picture on the way to the property. One of the properties, you can see it's like there's a canal leading to a lake. It was really cool. So, Kristy, what do you want to talk about?
Okay, so let me share my screen. Oh, you'll have to. I'm disabled.
You're disabled.
You have to enable me for screen.
All right, I'm going to make you the host. Here we go.
Oh, okay, cool.
You should be good now.
Yes. Okay. Can you see my screen?
I can see you. Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, cool. So my first question is, how do you pronounce the name of that lake that it's near?
Of that one? Oh my goodness.
We'll see how good you really are.
I know.
Hold on, let me pull it up because then at least you can see it, the name of it. Because I looked at that and I was like, what does that even, how do you even say that? Okay, let me just go.
Osawainimaki Lake. Bam.
That's very good. Osawainimaki Lake.
Yes. We'll call it Maki Lake for short, just because.
Oh, okay. Well, that's much better. I like that. I did just a little bit of research on it, and it looks like it's really clear, which is awesome because, of course, I'm from Texas. We have one clear lake, I think, in the whole state that it's got a limestone bottom. The rest are it looks like mud water. They're mostly just runoffs and drainage. So this lake actually looks like something I would go in. So that's nice.
Yeah, I would say even here in Minnesota, every lake is different. There are I almost call them ponds. They call it the land of 10,000 lakes or 11,000 lakes, whatever we call it around here. And we have some like right across the street here from my office here in Bloomington. We have a lake, but it's really shallow. Like you would not want to take a boat on that lake, like not even a pontoon boat,
Oh, like it's really shallow.
It's really shallow. But you see, geese around it, but it's some lakes like here in Minnesota, you get like this algae growth stuff. And so it's kind of gross. You don't really want to go swimming in a good number of lakes, but this lake is great. There's actually a boat launch that goes right into it. It's about a mile from this particular property.
Yeah, that's awesome. When they have something online, and I was thinking I might actually add it to these website listings when we get off. It was about the lake, but it was a whole report on the lake. Clarity, algae blooms, phosphorus. They did an amazing job with the water reports on this lake. So I could tell that it's a nice lake. Probably too cold for people like me, but it looks beautiful. And I think it was 63 or 67 feet average depth, so definitely boatable without running over too much stuff.
Yeah, right. Totally.
Yeah. Jeez. And then I also noticed on the listing it says evergreen trees. That was interesting to me too, because people love trees, but then it's obviously cool to be green all year round. So I thought, let me go up to the picture. Look at all those trees. I mean, it's everywhere. So you might have homes nearby, but you'd never see them all year round. So that's great. It's not like, oh, winter time, I see my neighbors. You'll never have to see your neighbors.
Well, what's fun, when we went up to Crow Wing County, so if do you want to pull up like a map of Minnesota just for fun, like Minnesota counties or something?
Sure.
So we live in Bloomington, Minnesota, which is in the Twin Cities here. And as I was looking at properties, of course, anywhere around the Twin Cities being more metropolitan, it's really expensive, right? And so part of what I was trying to figure out is where can we find beautiful properties that people would love to go to and would be good value, right? Where you don't have to put down $30,000 on a $100,000 property kind of a thing.
Yes.
Now, if you look at this map, kind of, do you see where Hennepin is? It's to the middle east-ish.
I see Crow
Can
Wing.
you see Minneapolis down a little south, a little more south, a little more south.
I wasn't good at geography.
Little more south, right there, to the right, upper north, right. There you go. So that's where I live, is in Hennepin County. And so, if you look at any of the counties around it, like Wright, Carver, Scott, Dakota, Washington, Anoka, Sherburne, those are all pretty expensive. If you go down south, where it's like Le Sueur and Rice and Waseca and all of that stuff south of Hennepin County, that's all like farming country in Minnesota. So there are some trees, but it's not really like a destination kind of a thing. Most of them, I mean, there's exceptions, right? I mean, there's places that are beautiful, but a lot of them are very like literally like farmy rural, lots of cornfields and soybean fields and stuff like that. Like for example, Rochester, which is in Olmsted County, which is a little bit to that's where the Mayo Clinic is in Rochester. Yeah. So it's very farmy around there. The first Mayo Clinic that happened. Now, the further north you go, the more you get trees, the more you get lots and lots and lots of lakes. So I've looked at places like St. Louis County, which is where Duluth is, which is on the Great Lakes. And the prices there are like all over the place. And so that was kind of hard for me to say, let's do that. Pretty much anything up north is gorgeous. There are some farmy areas, but there's lots and lots of trees. Otter Tail, which is to the west, as you're getting close to the Dakotas, that area is really pretty. But there's not that many properties, even though it's kind of sizable. And so as I was trying to figure out where do I want to go, what does that look like, I stumbled upon Crow Wing County, which is where these properties are we're talking about. You can see Brainerd is kind of the major city there. So Crow Wing is just so beautiful. There's so many lakes. There's so many trees like we're just looking at on that property. And so we drive, after I had bought the properties, we drove from Hennepin County up to Crow Wing, and my 15-and-a-half-year-old daughter drives us part of the way, right? So
really?
yeah. So if you go back to that property, where you were on the one you were showing.
This one.
Not that one. The first one.
Oh, this one.
To the left. To the left. The very first one.
This one. There we go.
And so we're driving, right? Like we're getting out there, having a good time, and she's doing great on the highway, the county roads out there. And as we get on the highway 11, I tell her, okay, you want to slow down now? Start slowing down. Start slowing down. Start slowing down. And we come around that, like she but didn't slow down enough, and like we're screeching the tires, turning into Pueblo Circle. It's like, oh no, the people that are here are just gonna hate us. But we didn't crash. Everything was okay.
That's
You
the most
know,
important.
but I was sweating. I was like holding onto the side thing and like, giving up control for the kids. I'm telling you.
Oh, that's funny.
But what I noticed about this property was, first and foremost, Highway 11 there is paved, and then going into Pueblo Circle, it was paved. Which the other time I've been out in Crow Wing County, there were some dirt roads. And so what I thought was super cool was that, it's all paved. It's easy to get to. I mean, you could do this in a 2-door car. You could do it in a sports car, getting out there if you wanted to, which so many of our properties, you got to have, an SUV or a truck or something with all-wheel drive to get out there. One of the things I noticed just about in general about Crow Wing County, I want to just zoom out on that map, Kristy. So you notice there are houses around here. As a matter of fact, there's Billy's Restaurant. You pass by right on getting to the property, just to the west, which was kind of like a bar kind of place. Lots of nice big parking lot. There's a sports center just to the west of that, which has ice skating and hockey stuff. And out to the east, if you scroll out a little bit further, there's a big resort.
I was just going to ask you if you did you go to it? Because I saw that online. It looks like it's got golf courses and a 250-room hotel.
Yeah, we didn't go to it this time, but I have actually been there a long time ago for a different business. And you have a regional airport right there, which is on Highway County Road 11 there. You can see this kind of dirt area. Yeah, that's like a little airport. So, and you can start to see some of the lakes if you keep scrolling out, Kristy. Let's just show everybody how many lakes there are out here. You can see Pelican Lake is huge. Keep going. There's Osmowani Lake, which is further north of Pelican. I mean, just look at all the lakes all over. And as you're driving up to this area, you pass by them. It's just so pretty. As you're driving out there, it's hard to do it justice, but you got nice big green trees. You got these big lakes, which some of them are certainly bigger than others, but even the ones that on this map right now look small are pretty sizable lakes. They're not ponds like some of the lakes we have here in the cities. So you can just see it just dots everywhere, right? I mean, it's water
everywhere. And then there's a forest here, another forest here. Trees and water, that's what everybody wants. So you got it for them.
We did. Yeah.
Awesome. And then did you spend any other time up there? Like you just went for the day and back, you didn't stay?
We didn't stay overnight. We had lunch in Nisswa, which you can see is on the main road there, which is kind of south of which it was like a very charming little stop. They had a few restaurants, they had some of course gas station, they had grocery stores. It was very urban, I would say. So it wasn't like some places I've been to where, you got to drive an hour to get to the grocery store. Everything is convenient out here. You're 10, 15 minutes away at the most from gas or groceries or whatever.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, when I was looking at Breezy Point specifically, the little town, and it looks not only adorable, but it's got only about 2,500 people that live there full time. And they said it about doubles in the summer. So that's still not bad. 5,000 people, it's, enough to have a grocery store and gas stations, like you said, but not enough to be elbow to elbow with people.
Totally. And what was fun just getting around town was, you could tell how laid back it was. It reminded me of Florida because people were riding around on golf carts, people were riding around on ATVs or side by sides, just going around town, hanging out, doing their thing, enjoying a beautiful day, you know.
Vacation.
Totally. Totally. So
And what about winter weather? Does it snow quite a bit there, or
oh yeah, it gets cold, no doubt
would that be
about
all?
it.
I guess that's all of Minnesota, huh? You guys don't have a huge variation.
Well, it certainly differs from place to place, but the more you're in the urban area, right, the warmer relatively it is because you got the heat bubble around the immediate thing most of the time. So this is going to be a little cooler because you're more remote, but there are people around, as you can tell here. So.
Beautiful area. I was excited when I saw these because, like you said, it's people have asked, I'm sure you Minnesota, but just in general, the trees and the lakes, and it just seems like the absolute perfect summer home destination.
Yes. Well, that's the nice thing. How many times have we have people ask us, are there utilities? Well, yes, there are utilities here.
Yeah.
And if you want to just scroll back in, Kristy, on like this property on the map. You can just see, kind of the streets snaking around. And like here, you can see as you come in, there's a house on the left, there's a house on the right. Directly across from the property is another house. There is another house, just down the road on the circle. So there's people around, but every property is like at least an acre in size. So you're not on like a postage stamp, to build a place. So you have lots of space. It's really, I think, a nice combination. Is it a 5-acre lot? No, but it's not a 1/4 acre either. These are all
you
1
can
acre
put
plus.
your house in the middle and not see anybody else. Perfect.
Yes, exactly. And as I was walking the property, on that house across the street there, you can see kind of the driveway. Directly, that one right there, you could see the electric box, you could see the cable box, you could see a bunch of utilities. So it's like, clearly the utilities are here. In this case, you didn't see the lines. I think they're buried underground, but they are clearly there. Water, I don't think they have the water, but as you can tell, with so much water around here, like generally from everyone I've talked to, the water table is pretty darn high. So, you don't have to drill 1,000 feet, to hit the water. Usually it's like 50 to 100 feet or something from what I understand. So pretty easy to get water.
Well, that'll save a ton if you don't have to drill hundreds and hundreds of feet, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go to one of the other ones because let's see. So this one said it was within walking distance. So I thought that was really cool. Let me pull this one up because look how close the water is. Yay.
Yeah, it's literally 650 feet away. Although, like, you don't have lake access 650 feet away, but this one was cool in that Chamel Road, that road that's to the west of the property, that one is dirt.
This one?
No, to the west.
This one.
Okay. Yeah, that one's dirt. But then Ottawa Trail that the property is on is actually paved. Okay. So like you're back on a paved road, which again, I would feel comfortable, if you took a sports car out there or something to get to the property, because it's easy to get to, well-maintained roads. And again, you can see houses right all over the place here.
Yeah.
House. Directly to the west of this property, there is no house. Directly to the east, there is. So you do have a neighbor to the east. but it's a nice sized property. You can see they're kind of laid back. They're a little bit south of Choctaw Circle, is where that neighbor is. You can see that house kind of poking out there among the trees. And again, with the utilities like that, there's a driveway across the street and you can see all the utilities. Like it's clear that everything is here. I would say difference between this property and the last one we were looking at, this one is cheaper, which is awesome because we got it for a really good price. This property, you're close to the lake, which is awesome. You don't have as many evergreen trees on this property. They're more deciduous in nature, but there are some evergreen on them. The last property we looked at made kind of like a wedge shape where you have this circle kind of on the outside of it, and then it all kind of points in. So that might be cool for some people, but if you want more rectangle, this property makes a rectangular shape to it. And outside of that, the utilities are there. It's a little further away, I would say, from town. This one is, but not very far.
Oh, 6 minutes to that, 32. And this Brainerd, you would say that's the big city in the area.
Yeah, that's the big city. That's where the county is located. That's where like a Sam's Club and Walmart and stuff like that.
I was going to ask about Walmart because everyone needs to know where the Walmart is. That's important.
Yes, you're like 20, 30 minutes from a Walmart, something.
No, that's nothing. That's not bad at all.
And it was very, very quiet. We went out there, took these pictures in the beginning of May, so beginning of this month. And it was just so quiet and pristine, even with the houses around there. Like you said, the population doubles in the summer because a lot of people don't stay here year round. So, I would say just wonderful set away. And you do have lake access. There's public lake access. If you want to go back to that map, Kristy. So you see where that RV park is, and they're 39 to the right a little bit. It kind of makes a circle around the lake. The public access, you can see dirt on the right about where your mouse just was. That's the boat launch where the number 39 is right there. That's the boat launch, public boat launch for anyone to get into the lake. So you can see it's about a mile away. So, I mean, it's super close, easy to get to. Again, lovely drive. I'd say this was scenic to get to because that road on the left of the property to the west of it, as you have the lake, like this picture behind me, that canal that's behind me in this picture, that's going into that lake right about where your mouse is. That's where I took this picture. And there's this canal follows that dirt road south. So it's this very picturesque, very pretty drive to get to the property.
Wow. And then you said, so this road is also paved. Mm-hmm. So if you had a boat, you would go the whole ways paved to the boat launch.
Exactly.
Okay, that's great. Awesome.
And for someone that wants to camp or have an RV, maybe while they're building their land, you can see, hey, there's a campground and RV park right there, there, super close to the property. I didn't go to it, but obviously it's super close.
Yeah, gosh, that is close. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Now, this one was a particularly interesting property. Where this is where I saw a lot of ATVs and golf carts and stuff out here, which again, this is kind of a little further away from town, but it's still awfully close, like 6 minutes away. So
3 minutes.
Yeah. So, but this particular property does not have the utilities, but they're not too far away. You can see just to the west, there's 2 houses.
Yeah.
So you're like 300 feet away from the utilities. If you scroll out a little bit more, Kristy. Do you see how there's like a circle
Here.
just to the west where the property is on? See where the property is,
Yeah.
where that pointer is? You see how there's almost like a circle going
Mhm.
around? Yeah, you're following it. You were following it there. So
Yeah.
yep, and then it heads down south a little bit. So you go from this kind of wide dirt road that's Delaware Trail, and then it turns into this circle where those two houses are at the very end of it. So I think the plan is for this whole thing to get developed, and to have utilities, but it's a very narrow trail. We have a Honda Accord and a Pilot. I would feel comfortable taking the Pilot and SUV on this trail, but I wouldn't recommend like a typical sedan.
Gotcha.
The county probably needs to come in here and regrade it. It wasn't the best, and it's like a one lane road. So to turn around is kind of hard in it. You could go around the whole circle if you had to, but luckily in this case, this property is at the top of the circle, not too far away from the dirt road. So
Yes, you would jet in right there,
yeah,
basically.
exactly.
Okay.
So for someone that doesn't want neighbors, someone that really wants peace and quiet, maybe they want to build a wood cabin, um, maybe they want electricity in the future, and it might come that way. I think this would be a great property for someone that really wants to get away, because it was like incredibly quiet. There's no ATVs going down here. The ATVs were all on the main road and the golf carts and stuff. So this is more set back, more back to the basics, more back to nature kind of a thing. So you can get to the property. There is physical access, but in this case, I do recommend like an SUV or something like that until the county regrades it and
Gotcha.
gets it to be a little bit better.
Gotcha. And it looks like there's a conservation area maybe here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it won't get too developed around either, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
There's some green space there. Yeah, that's nice because that's at the edge. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
I like being away from people. This would be mine.
Different strokes for different folks, and I think it all kind of depends on the reason and why you want to build on it, right? If you want all the utilities, one of the other two properties are great. If you want close access to the lake, that middle one we were looking at.
Fantastic, yeah.
If you want to be more away from people and be more kind of naturistic, have a cabin, stuff like that, where you don't have to have the utilities, then this property is a wonderful fit for someone.
Yeah, there's something for everyone in this area then. That's great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. I don't think these are going to last very long.
No, no, I don't think so. Let's see, what else, Kristy? What else can we talk about out here?
I'm trying to think about any other questions. Well, what was it, about 2 hours from town, from Minneapolis?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say 2.5, depending on how fast you're driving out there.
If it's a teenager or not.
Yeah, right? Yes. So
yeah, that would be a great distance for a weekend place. You could go up every weekend. It's reasonable for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, so many people here, dream of owning a cabin, someplace that you can take your family to, something you can pass down for generations. Yeah. And with the golf courses and there's an international raceway that's in Brainerd. There's breweries. There's all kinds of cool stuff you can do. Not to mention just going off on trails and getting out into the wilderness. I mean, there's wonderful area and wonderful place for people to escape to, have a place for your boat and go take it on the lake, or use someone else's boat and take it to the lake.
It sounds like a great investment area then too. Some places maybe are so far out that people want that, they want to go off grid, they want to escape, and they don't care about an investment. This one actually seems like the best of both worlds, because I can't imagine this isn't going to increase in value as more and more people want to get out of the city and have weekend places, and the cities keep expanding, and but you always have your little acre of trees that nobody can encroach on. But
Right.
that's very similar to how my parents' place was when they bought it. We thought it was out in the middle of nowhere. We were like, oh, we're in the boonies. And now there's a Walmart 5 minutes away, but they get to go back onto their farm and pretend like the world doesn't exist. So this seems like exactly that kind of place that you could do that.
Absolutely.
Good retirement place.
Yes. Any other thoughts or questions, Kristy?
No, this has been awesome, because I don't, as I said to Dave, I'll tell everybody else too, I don't know this area at all. I've never been to Minnesota. So this has been great. I could ask you questions and hear you talk about it, because it's beautiful.
It is. No, it's and it was great to be able to see properties myself. I've done it a few handfuls of times, and for me to be able to drive out 2.5 hours to a property. Hey, worst case scenario, I own this stuff, and
exactly.
I can keep it for my family if no one else takes it. I don't know why they wouldn't, but
Yeah, there's worse places to be stuck with than this, I'm sure. But it is good you've been out. So now if somebody has questions, they can actually reach out and get a firsthand answer, rather than a lot of times I'll refer back to the photographer notes or county notes, things like that. But it's nice now, you can be like, oh no, on the left there's this, and right there you've actually get a picture and see it. It's great.
Yes, totally. All right, well, I think we're good. Kristy, thanks for coming back.
Sure.
And my friend, go ahead, Kristy. I'm sorry.
I said we'll do it again soon.
We will. And if people have questions about these properties, they want to come and ask you about it, or via you ask me, what would be the best way for them to contact you?
Always, you can call or text me. So that number is 971-617-2946. That's an easy way. Even if you don't like talking, that's fine. Shoot me a text. It's easy. And then email is sales@genfamland.com.
There you go. Hit up Kristy, everybody. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning into Land Stories with me, Dave Deniston, and Kristy Lyman. Make sure to check out all of our properties, Minnesota, Colorado, Arizona, everywhere at www.genfamproperties.com. And if you are looking for land, whether it's Minnesota or somewhere else, I know Kristy would love to speak with you. Kristy, what's that number one more time?
So phone number is 971-617-2946, and the email sales@genfamland.com. And even if this isn't the one, or you don't have questions about this one, we send out emails quite often with good sales and information. So if you want to be on the email list, you can shoot me an email and I'll put you on that. You can get on our VIP list.
Bam. There you go, everybody. Have a good one.